such as Kenneth Andrews and C. Roland Christensen, had raised some important questions in developing a strategy, as I note in Competitive Strategy's original introduction. Yet there were no systematic, rigorous tools for answering these questions, assessing a company's industry, understanding competitors, and choosing a competitive position. Some newly founded strategy consulting firms had moved to fill this void, but the ideas they put forward, such as the experience curve, rested on a single presumed basis of competition and a single type of strategy. Competitive strategy offered a rich framework for understanding the underlying forces of competition in industries, captured in the 5 forces. The framework reveals the important differences among industries, how industries evolve, and helps companies find a unique position. Competitive strategy provided tools for capturing the richness and heterogeneity of industries and companies, while providing a disciplined structure for examining them. The book also brought structure to the concept of competitive advantage through defining it in terms of cost and differentiation and linking it directly to profitability. Managers looking for concrete ways to tackle strategic planning's difficult questions quickly embraced the book, which rang true to practitioners. The book also signaled a new direction and provided an impetus for economic thinking. The economic theory of competition at the time was highly stylized. Economists focused mainly on industries. Companies were presumed equal or differing primarily in size or in unexplained differences in efficiency. The prevailing view of industry structure encompassed seller concentration and a few sources of barriers to entry. Managers were all but absent in economic models, with virtually no latitude to affect competitive outcomes. Economists were concerned mainly with the societal and public policy consequences of alternative industry structures and patterns of competition. The aim was to push excess profits down. Few economists had ever even considered the question of what the nature of competition implied for company behavior or how to push profits up. Moreover, economists also lacked the tools to model competition among small numbers of firms whose behavior affected each other. Competitive strategy identified a range of phenomena that economists, armed with new game theoretic techniques, have begun to explore mathematically for the first time. My training and assignments, first an MBA, then an economics PhD, then the unique Harvard Business School challenge of using the case method to teach practitioners, revealed the gap between actual competition and the stylized models. They also created a sense of urgency to develop tools that would inform actual choices in real markets. With rich industry and company knowledge from many case studies, I was able to offer a more sophisticated view of industry competition and bring some structure to the question of how a firm could outperform its rivals. Industry structure involved 5 forces, not 2. Competitive positions could be thought of in terms of cost, differentiation, and scope. In my theory, managers had important latitude to influence industry structure and to position the company relative to others. Market signaling, switching costs, barriers to exit, cost versus differentiation, and broad versus focused strategies were just some of the new concepts explored in the book that proved to be fertile avenues for research, including the use of game theory. My approach helped open up new territory for economists to explore and offered economists in business schools a way of moving beyond the teaching of standard economic concepts and models. Competitive strategy has not only been widely used in teaching, but has motivated and served as a starting point in other efforts to bring economic thinking to bear on practice. What has changed since the book was published? In some ways, everything has changed. New technologies, new management tools, new growth industries, and new government policies have appeared and reappeared. But in another sense, nothing has changed. The book provides an underlying framework for examining competition that transcends industries, particular technologies, or management approaches.